Okay, in this video what we're going to do is have a quick look at what a LOD is for a skeletal mesh. Now a LOD is the abbreviation of level of detail. Now as you can see here, I have the Scorpion car open. Now open this up a little bit. Let's see, make sure I'm trying to get to display factor 1. That'll do. Now as you can see here, that we have 28. If you look here at the top, you've got LOD 0, bones 28, polys 6758, display factor blah 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 blah. Now if I start moving out and we watch for the display factor, at some stage it will pop, he said. There we go, it popped there. Now if I just move forward a bit, keep going, there, display factor of 1.5, it comes, it's still at 6700 and whatever. Go back a touch, no, wrong button, go to 14, well, back a touch, and it pops down to 1424. Now what this is for is to make things easier on your game engine when you've got complex meshes. Now you use them for characters, you use, well, weapons not so much, but then again you've got your first person and your third person and your pickup meshes, yeah, different levels of detail, different amount of polys and whatever. And we need to have the same sort of thing on the vehicles and on your characters to ease the strain on the computers and the game engine, because when you get to a certain distance away from you who are the viewer, there's no need to have that amount of detail. It still looks like a scorpion. Move forward, you can just about see it pop. Now in Scorpion's case we've only got one level of detail, and I'll show you where we'll find that. Is you go into the anim set editor, okay, mesh tab, under skeleton mesh, LOD information. Now I said we've only got one, we've got two. So basically you've got the initial mesh and then one reduction, one level of detail reduction. If you look at well, we'll have a quick look at the other ones at the moment. Now here we've got the settings, level of details, display factor 00000. I keep doing this wrong, get it in. That basically equates to display factor 1. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but hey. And then if we go have a look at level of detail number 1, it says the display factor of 0.15, which when we zoom back out, and there you go, we're at 0.15 and it pops down to 1424. Now of course you've got things like this, LOD material map, casting, triangle sorting. I'm not going to deal with any of that at all. Alright, now let's just get away from the Scorpion. Now if I remember rightly, I could be very wrong here, probably am. Let's see if I can find the Cydia. Now if we zoom out here, we're watching, I think the Cydia's only got one as well. I think it might have been, won't be the Manta, but we'll have a look anyway. I'm looking up here as well because it's got base and 1. So if we, there we go, pop, back, pop, back, pop. Okay. Now, just to make things a little bit more blatant, what I'll show you on the LOD is, let's have a look at the old Mr. Robot. Now you'll see up here straight away we've got base 1, 2, 3. Now if I come into full level, basically, if you just look at these poly counts up here as I scroll out or zoom out, yeah, we're at 15,000 and it goes to 6,900, 3,100 and 1,100. Now in the heat of the action you're not going to notice the difference there. Now but what you got to remember is, if while we're talking about vehicles at the moment, the vehicles that UDK comes with is around 6,000 polys. This one is already out when you're in it, when it's in your face, at 15,000. So if you've got a 15,000 poly vehicle, you're probably going to want to have at least the full set of LODs. Okay, so how do we do an LOD? Alright, let's go back to our BC car. Open this up. Now if you see up here, we've only got, in the LOD section, it's got clicked on auto, but we've only got one LOD. Now a professional studio, and quite possibly well, as say companies like Epic, you know, the really big names, they'll do the LODs actually in your 3D application. Now if you don't want to do that, Epic has, in partnership with simplygon, implemented a mesh reduction system in the UDK for you to be able to do it in here and not in your 3D app, and making it pretty much let's say automatic. So what we're going to do here, alright, now as you can see I've got 5,800 polys. I've got one LOD factor. I can't add anything here. So what you have to do is go to File, Import Mesh LOD. Now what I'm going to do is just import my initial mesh. Okay, so I'm going to import it on LOD level 1. Processing, yeah. Doesn't like that for some reason, but hey. Now, as you can see, automatically I have got an extra LOD information put in there. Display factor, I'm going to change this to 0.8. Now, hit return. If I scroll out, now for some reason it's popping already. Is this because I was already been playing with it? Now let's see if we go on to wire mesh mode. Now that is quite possibly because yeah, I think I've been working on a few computers, and unfortunately it looks like let's see. Let me just import another one. See if it'll import that one. Make that to number 2, shall we? Yeah. Okay. You'll probably find if I make this to say number 0.6, it pops down. You can see here it pops down to level 1 at 4,800. Pops down to level 2, and we've got 1596. Now 1596 is my initial mesh. Okay, so and all I done was sort of like added loads and loads and loads of edges and loops and things like that. So what we're going to do, just to show you how to do this, I'm going to reload that one, alright, which is a 4000 and something polys, into level 2. Mesh for level 2 imported. Now as you can see here, if we go, there's no popping from level 2 to level 1. You still got the same amounts. Okay. Now here's the trick. Make sure you click on Force LOD 2. Then go on to Mesh Simplification. And here you get the desired quality. The amount of triangles, vertices, blah blah blah. And what we're going to do is reduce it, say 90. Then click on Simplify. And there we go. You get your little simplygon icon up here, and your level 2 is been reduced to 1824. Now what you could do, if you really want to, and I wouldn't advise it, well, not with something of this detail, is actually make a third one by re-importing your original mesh, and then in here setting your quality down even further, and then further and further until you get the right amount. Okay, so that's how you do it. This is where you set the values, and really that should probably be maybe 0.5 or 0.2, something like that, of display factor. Now as you can see, I'm zooming in here out and it's not doing anything because we're still locked on the Force LOD. So you go back to auto and it pops straight into the full res version. Now if I scroll out, gets to 0.8, pop down to 4000. Now going further and further and further away, pop goes down to 1800. Now to be honest, that's if I go into display mode. When you see something coming at that distance, you don't really need a lot of detail. Okay, so that's how you do LODs. I know didn't quite run the way I was wanting because for some reason I don't have the original file available with the see, I'm still not all the way in there. There we go, with the 5800. But I hope you get the gist of it. If not, then give us a shout and I'll come back and make sure I've got all the original files so you can see the differences straight away. Okay then? Right, I'm off. Bye bye now.